Have you ever felt something wrong with the Big Bang Theory? If the universe had started at a tiny beginning, so what was before this starting point? They say the universe came into being out of thin air. Others say the universe is circular. The end of the last universe is the beginning of the universe now. Can you believe that? It's so counterintuitive. But what if I told you these theories were developed by two top scientists? So do you still trust your gut feeling? Yes. These two gods are Hawking and Penrose. So what do they have? Let's look at Hawking first. He was working on the Big Bang model. Discovered a fatal contradiction. If time itself, it only appeared at the moment of the Big Bang. What was it before the Big Bang? This problem cannot be established, because you just have to ask before. The default time is always there. Facing this contradiction, what Hawking chose was not to explain before. It just takes away the idea. He started the universe from an incalculable beginning, transformed into a closed quantum structure without boundaries. In Hawking's eyes, the beginning of the Big Bang, no longer as we are familiar with, pass in one direction. It becomes a directionless dimension. It's part of the fabric of the universe. Big Bang. It's not just an explosion that happens at some point. The universe emerged from a state of quantum ambiguity, gradually evolving into the time and space we are familiar with. Structure and expansion process. That is to say, Hawking doesn't think at all. Before the Big Bang. Why does this sound like skipping the question? There still doesn't seem to be a positive answer. What was before the Big Bang? It's a coincidence if you think so too. Because another scientist, Penrose, I thought so too. In Penrose, it seems that Hawking's explanation, there's a lot of critical stuff that's been skipped. It's not very convincing. He particularly emphasizes what made the universe special at its birth, because its initial state has to be very orderly. It must be the starting point of extremely low quotient, extremely high symmetry. But here's the thing. The quantum starting point model doesn't explain it at all. How does this extremely low quotient state come about? He's blurring the beginning of the universe, processed into a quantum fluctuation, but didn't explain. Why does the fluctuation come out with such a direction? Structured universe. In his opinion, this means the problem is not solved. So he took a different path. Proposed. The universe evolved directly from a previous universe, structural continuity. But Stephen Hawking did make a big contribution here, actually. Penrose initially fought alongside Hawking. Two people, joint research on black holes and starting points under general relativity. They start to understand very early on. As long as the conditions are met, enough, dense regions inevitably collapse. Formation's starting point. This means that the long-term evolution of the universe, likely to point to the endgame of increasing quotient. Hawking later proposed Hawking radiation. Point out that black holes are not eternal. It releases energy very slowly. Eventually, even the black hole itself will disappear. This result? Reverse. It provided a good foundation for Penrose's theory. They believe that. In the distant future, where the universe continues to expand, all particles with mass either decay or be swallowed by the black hole and evaporate with it. Eventually, there are only photons left in the universe. These particles, which have no rest mass, travel at the speed of light. This makes the universe seem to still exist, but it's fundamentally changed. There is no static structure that can be used to mark time. There's no stable scale. Spatial location can be defined. Space and time as physical concepts. It loses its meaning at this limit. And before that, it was Hawking and Penrose. But then the two began to disagree. Hawking believes that time is a part of the universe. Therefore, time cannot be separated from the universe. Measure it separately, for the universe and after the universe. Whereas Penrose saw time as a separate dimension. It runs through the cycle of the universe. Penrose proposed the theory of conformal cyclic universe. The universe is not a one-time event, but by countless epochs. A continuous process consisting of n-toned contact. Although at the end of the universe, only the remaining photons and attractive forces roam, the entire universe is still expanding spatially, but there's no physical reference. It's measuring space and time. This state, mathematically equivalent to a scale-free edge interface, and this boundary could serve as the starting point for the birth of the next universe. It's not that the universe really compressed into a point, but in that state, the concept of spatio-temporal scale has failed, so the end of the entire universe can transition to the beginning of the next universe. This end-of-universe scale-free state is the connection to the next cosmic beginning. It's a very low-quotient state process. But here's the problem. If the universe is really as Penrose describes it, it can cycle. That wound should also increase and decrease accordingly. The loop makes sense, according to the fundamental laws of thermodynamics. The injury can only get bigger and bigger. There's no attrition mechanism. How will the universe begin next time? In a broken universe, it can also be directly turned into a low-injury state. Penrose's explanation is very radical. Doesn't think it's reversed. But when the universe enters, there's only light. After the end state of prime particles, all structures have dissipated. In this state, the concept of quotient itself no longer applies, as there is no comparable state. Nothing is more ordered or more disordered. That's why. This unstructured limit. In mathematics, it can be regarded as a new starting point, so as to connect naturally to the opening of the next universe. This is equivalent to the quotient being reset. Looking back now, Hawking and Penrose agreed and disagreed. But they all try to answer the question of the origin of our universe, creation from scratch. Or is it a repeat of infinite reincarnation? Which do you think is more reliable?